the flow works. Like Superman shouldn't be here in the Hollywood section. We're actually moving Superman over to the end of the World War II section because it was him and Captain America, even Batman, that brought us through that. So I'm trying to make sense and put it all, even though it may not, most people will think Superman belongs there. I'm trying to tell a different story about how we got through things. You're number one.
I am.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. I just wanted to greet you and give you a copy of my new book for being first in line.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you guys for coming. Yeah, we've been working 18-hour days for the last 3 or 4 days to get this up, and I really hope you enjoy it. I think you're going to see some really great things. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, America. I am in St. George, Utah, and I am doing an American museum, our history, the good, bad, and ugly. And I'm doing it because we are losing our history. And if we don't learn from the past, then we're going to repeat all of the mistakes that we've made. It's why I'm really opposed to taking down statues. I may not like the guy, but that was part of our history. Learn from it, face it, and remember it. There are about 11,000 people coming in the next few days through this museum. This is something that I started putting together around 2008. I felt that it was important to protect and preserve our American founding documents, and it's gotten way out of control since then. It is the entire story of America and the stories that we have put out in movies and other things that the rest of the world knows us for. I'm going to take you on a tour here in just a second on what we're calling the Red Pill Room. There was a change in the early 1900s, and we became, instead of worshiping God, we began to worship man. But at the same time, because we're self-hating egomaniacs that I don't understand, we also thought we could make a better man because man was flawed. I'll show you that coming up in just a second. The full tour, by the way, is, with an exception of what I'm going to show you, is on Blaze TV right now. If you're a subscriber at blazetv.com/Glenn, you can watch that tour, but it does not cover what I'm going to cover here in just a second. I started collecting this because I thought I had to preserve it. That is still my goal, and it has been nerve-wracking to take it out of a vault and put it in 2 18-wheelers and haul it halfway across the country. But I think sitting in a vault, it may be protected, but it's the vault of our children. It is the vessel that they are, that this information needs to be poured into. So my goal is to have families experience something they may not have experienced before. And what I'm about to show you certainly is that. Come on, let's head downstairs. 4th of July is right around the corner, and the folks at Good Ranchers want you to know about their Independence Day deals. Independence Day, 4th of July. I love the fact they call it Independence Day. From Good Ranchers, they're going to be offering the best deal to give you freedom from the meat aisle and the prices at the meat aisle. You can revolutionize the way you buy meat during their huge 4th of July sale. During this sale, you'll get great opportunities to start buying only meat that was raised here in America. Start eating the best quality meats you've ever tasted. And may I say, most importantly, I think, is you're locking in your price. You want freedom from the meat aisle. Wait until you see the price of meat a year from now, and you'll still be paying exactly the same price. GoodRanchers.com. GoodRanchers.com. You'll get an awesome deal on the best quality beef, chicken, seafood, all of it raised here in America. Celebrate your freedom of opportunity as we get closer and closer to July 4th with amazing new deals from Good Ranchers. Use my code Glenn and get an additional $30 off your order. GoodRanchers.com, code Glenn. Come on in. So we're gonna start over here first, and if you'll see right behind you, come on in this way. You'll see right here, this is the beginning of man was worshiping God, sometimes wrongly, sometimes rightly. We were worshiping God. We lost our way back and forth, but we were still trying to worship God. Now man is worshiping man. This is the beginning of that. And you'll see, come on in guys, these are from the Titanic. This is the Western Union Telegraph that is actually saying, deeply regret to advise you, Titanic sank this morning, 15th after a collision with iceberg, serious loss of life, Carpathia picking up passengers. We will return to New York. When it went out, it was going to Africa, and there happened to be a very great American plein air painter. A plein air painter is somebody who sits his easel out and paints fast before the light changes. He happened to be on the Carpathias. They turned around in the morning, and he sat right on the bridge of the Carpathia, watching what was happening. He painted these two. These were painted the morning where they were picking up the passengers. This is the Carpathia, but it is to show the size. That's the Carpathia. This is what he saw rowing to himself, to his ship, the Carpathia. That is the closest you have to a picture of that rescue. This is the iceberg that the Titanic hit. The first two are worth a read. This is what I believe James Cameron based the entire Titanic on, the movie. This is a 16-year-old girl. She lost her father. She was the only one left in her family. She talks about she was in third class, waking up, hearing the boat hit something. She sits up in bed. The person in the room with her said, "Oh dear God, what has happened?" They go outside. Dad's in the hallway, third class. It was women on one side, men on the other. He got her dressed. They had to climb over the fences, just like the movie, to get to the top. She's one of the first in the boats, just like in the movie. She says, I turned to my dad and said, "Well, you're coming with me." And he said, "No, honey, they're loading the men on the other side," just like in the movie. Then her lifeboat went down, and one of the pulleys slipped, just like in the movie, and it almost tipped her out. She finally got away, and about an hour or so later, she saw the lights begin to flicker, the ship lift up, crack in half, and go down. She waited in Grand Central Station for somebody to claim her as family. It's a riveting story. This is the largest piece of the Hindenburg that we know of that is remaining. This is another worship of man. This was another great way to fly, except it was all with hydrogen. That's not really good, especially in a thunderstorm, which they were. They were in New Jersey. They were coming to land. One guy I read that gave testimony on what happened, he said he saw a light blue flame start at the back and travel across, and then it exploded. It took 29 seconds to go from everything's fine to nothing but this laying on the ground and the dead on the ground. 29 seconds. That's why I painted this painting called 29 Seconds. It is how fast your life can change and be over or completely different. I want to go over here. One of our presidents, Theodore Roosevelt, There's one of my favorite stories of Theodore Roosevelt is the guy was just, he lived every second of his life fully. And he was an